Welcome and thank you for joining us on This Week in the Valley. Our show features people and events that are making a difference where we live, right here in North Missouri. You'll notice Donna's gone this week. I'm Darren Elizaris, and I'm pleased to have Becky Brockman join me. Welcome, Becky.
Thanks, Darren. I'm excited to be here. It is a bit different being on this side of the camera. As always, we have an exciting show for you, and joining us a bit later are Representative Tim Remole, Barry McKenzie, and Jim Walker with an update on the gun control issue. FFA of Macon hosted a luncheon, and CBTV was there.
And Kim Kendrick shares with us another It's Your Money tip.
The most some of us know of St. Patrick's Day is that you must wear green or you may get pinched. Others see it as an occasion to celebrate and drink assorted colored beverages, and here are a few facts you might not know about St. Patrick.
St. Patrick wasn't even Irish. He was born in Britain, and at age 16 he was kidnapped by Irish raiders and spent 6 years in captivity. He escaped, converted to Christianity, and later returned to Ireland to work as a Christian missionary.
After Patrick died on March 17, 461 AD, he was largely forgotten until legend grew, and centuries later he was honored as the patron saint of Ireland.
According to one famous myth, St. Patrick drove all the snakes from Ireland. The one problem is Ireland never had any snakes to begin with. This story symbolizes the cleansing of the island from paganism.
Another story St. Patrick used was the 3 leaves of the shamrock to explain the Holy Trinity, the Father, the Son, and the Spirit. As a result, people started wearing shamrock on March 17 to signify their Irish Christian pride. That tradition grew into wearing green clothing, a custom still popular today.
As important as St. Patrick is in Irish history, you may not have known that the tradition of celebrating March 17th with parades actually started in America. The parade tradition really took off after the potato famine hit Ireland in the 1840s, sending hundreds of thousands of Irish immigrants to America.
The first record of Irish parade in New York dates back to 1762. Today it's the largest and the longest St. Patrick's Day parade.
St. Patrick's Day is celebrated in small and large cities from coast to coast. Some people see the day as a religious holiday, while others spend the day celebrating their Irish ancestry. But everyone who recognizes the day sees it as a celebration of Irish culture and tradition.
It's only fitting that March is the month we celebrate something so green, because we're anxiously awaiting spring to arrive.
Spring actually begins this Friday, so much to celebrate this week.
So true. One thing that continues to be discussed no matter the season, and that is the issue of gun control. America is still divided when it comes to the gun control debate.
Our first guests, Representative Tim Remole, Barry McKenzie, and Jim Walker, join us with an update on this very topic.
We're going to revisit an issue today that is always timely in Missouri, and that's the rights of citizens under the Second Amendment of the United States Constitution, which of course is the right to keep and bear arms. I'm joined in the studio today with Representative Tim Remole from Excello, who represents this area ably and well, and also with Barry McKenzie. Barry is a retired police officer and is manager of the Target Master store in Columbia. Fellas, I appreciate you taking time out of your schedules to visit with us.
Glad to be here. Yeah, glad to be here.
We'll start with you, Representative. What's new in the legislature in the way of pro or con gun bills this year?
Well, one of the bills that's actually being put together right now in the House is from Representative Ron Hicks, and it would for concealed carriers to be able to carry a gun on public transportation.
How would that work?
Well, you'd have to go through obtain your concealed carry permit from a licensed trainer, and such as him and Target Masters. They do a good job down there, and you know, when they get that concealed carry, they'll be able to take it on a bus or a cab and other transportation. Even they're considering maybe trains as well.
The recent events in the St. Louis area have brought in more focus the use of force by police officers, and also has brought into focus the thought of police officers wearing cameras. There's a law or a bill proposed in the Missouri legislature as we speak that would require a tax on handguns that would finance purchasing cameras for police officers. What's your take on that?
Well, I'm opposed to that bill. For the simple fact, I don't think people should have to pay an extra tax, make guns more expensive for those police officers to have cameras. Many of the police officers are wearing cameras and have been for quite some time. I know that some even in our area have been wearing cameras for quite a while, and I don't think we should raise the prices of guns to fund something like that.
Barry, I know that in the store where you work, you sell a lot of handguns. What's your view of that particular proposal?
We'd be opposed to it also. I think it's something that the cities and states that want their officers to wear cameras, and we're pro on the camera end of it. I think that would help the officer on any issues that may arise, like the thing that happened in Ferguson. But as far as making every citizen have to pay for these, I think there ought to be a different mode of way to get the money for it instead of putting it on taxing on guns.
There's recently enacted legislation in Missouri that permits teachers to carry firearms on school property. Talk to us about that.
Well, this legislation was brought about because of all the tragic things that's happened around the country, and you know, I supported that bill, and there's some misconceptions about that bill because some people think if you just can go get a concealed carry if you're a teacher or administrator and just start carrying, and that's not true. Actually, it's up to individual school boards, their districts. They work with the people that the boards usually know, you know, who is going to be carrying and who is trained, and it takes special training to be able to do that. And it's not. And I've talked to law enforcement. Actually, I've talked to the trainers that actually, and they have assured me, believe me, when they go through that training, we will know even if they would be able to handle that position to carry a gun because of the extensive training that they go through.
And where would they get that training?
Well, actually, we have a local officer here in Macon. I know one that is. He has the training. He's able to train in that position.
Barry, as a former police officer, I believe you told me you had 28 years law enforcement. We're seeing a lot in the news now about less lethal weapons. What are some of the options that police officers would have in that regard?
Well, what we had when I was there, of course, on less than lethal was your pepper sprays or your different sprays that you had. Some of them had the tasers, the stun gun style guns, and then of course in your other long guns you had bean bags and rubber bullets and different things you could shoot. There's more things coming on the market all the time, but they always have the final threat to them would be with pulling their handgun and using it, and it should be unrestricted and able to use.
What are police officers, how are they trained to respond to a lethal threat?
A lethal threat, if it's lethal and they feel a life threat for themselves or citizens, they are trained to shoot to stop the threat.
A couple of years ago, it seemed that the weapon of choice for citizens was the AR-15. Is that still the trend, or are people buying something different now?
AR-15, the market's kind of falling out of those right now. I mean, I think there were 2 years ago when everybody rushed to get them, was when politics were really involved, and they were talking about taking them away and changing them and the 30-round mags and all that stuff. Well, then everybody rushed out, and a lot of vendors double prices on them, really charge way too high for them. But that being said, that market is totally not even there anymore. We sell very few of those guns. We still have a lot of them, but people bought them because they was afraid the government was going to take them away from them, and they wanted to get them before they did. So the trend on handguns right now, and guns in our gun store, is still mostly handguns. We have a lot of new shooters coming into the market, and that big market is women. We have a lot of women shooting now.
Tim, what do you see happening in the legislature from this point forward this year on guns?
Well, I think we're gonna see that, the public, being able to, on public transportation, I think you'll see that move forward at some point. It's, the bill's been worked up, and some of these other bills that we're seeing on the tax and stuff, I haven't seen a lot of support for that, for the cameras, and, you know, I think people think that those cameras are just an oncoming thing, but one of the things that we're seeing is some of the bills that are thinking about being filed about a police officer having to wear that and having it turned on at all times. I've talked to law enforcement in our local areas, and you know, they don't oppose cameras at all. Some, you know, the Moberly police officers have been wearing them for quite some time. They are expensive to operate. And another thing was to, you know, they want you to turn them on at a certain time, and there's just a lot of maintenance to them. And they're not opposed, but they are opposed to having them on at all times, and because of the fact that it's a high maintenance cost. And they don't mind the recordings and stuff, and they come handy in court things. So we're not opposed to cameras, but some of the legislation, we don't want it to be used against the police officer just trying to do his job to protect the people.
Barry, in addition to selling firearms at Target Masters, you also offer training. What do you offer to the public in the way of firearms training?
Well, we do, as most gun stores around, we do concealed carry. Our probably one of the biggest concealed carry sources in the Boone County area down in Columbia. So we do a lot of those. Our classes are full about 2 to 3 months in advance. We also do basic introductory. So we get a person that's never shot a gun before or shot very little. We offer those type courses, and we average about 250 of those classes a year. And if you want to get into the advanced end of it, we have other instructors in the area that we trust to turn somebody, one of our students, over to them to train for advanced. There's a lot of good training around. We also offer some competition there in the store each month. The person can step up to do advanced style shooting through like doorways or out of cars, or some moving targets and stuff like that, just to get a more realistic style, and it's kind of a competition for them.
If a person wants to get familiar with firing a handgun, do you have weapons that you rent on site?
We do. We have approximately 65 different styles and models of handguns, from 22s up to 45s, and we have a selection of rifles that they can shoot, of a rifle of a handgun caliber. So we got the AR style rifles, black rifles, that you can shoot like the military style rifles. We have those in a caliber comfortable to our range, and the 22s in that style that you can shoot too. But yes, we have a big variety of guns you can shoot. It's kind of a try before you buy style thing, that if you're looking to buy a gun, we got an opportunity. If not that particular gun, you got one similar to it that you can try.
Well, again, I thank both of you for coming here. Representative Remole, we thank you for your strong effort to protect the Second Amendment rights.
And I thank you for that. And, you know, it is our right. And, you know, we see these things coming against our Second Amendment rights. I know the federal governments have tried different times on different issues, and that's why we've got to stay in the fight and stay ahead of that as much as we can to protect the people. And, you know, we even see some protection on open carry, you know, and, you know, I have some personal things that's happened to me. I do a lot of striping on parking lots at night, and I was in some areas that weren't the most friendly, and we always had problems, and on different occasions. So I started, when I went to that area, I started wearing an open carry gun on my side, and when I started doing that, I haven't had any problems at all. And it's just, it can be a deterrent to stop anything bad from happening, as well as, and we always hate to think about having to use that, but it's good to have it when we need it.
The laws of Missouri just changed last year on open carry.
Yeah.
What are the rights of the citizens now on that?
Well, you can open carry, and also if you know, if you're carrying and the accident, you're concealing, that if the gun is exposed accidentally, if you lean over and, you know, it just exposed, you're protected from that, where before, you know, there was a lot of concern about that, so.
Barry, what are your thoughts on open carry?
Well, of course, I'm totally, and the store's totally committed to Second Amendment, and I think our rights give us the right to carry open carry. And it's like the representative said, a lot of times, you know, you're in a spot where if there's more people around and your gun, if you got a coat over it and it shows, before, you know, they could charge you with brandishing or something like that, and now this law protects that. I think open carry, it's like he mentioned, in certain areas, it should be out and available where people can see it. There's other places where it may offend somebody, and you may want to think about, if you're a concealed carry, keep it concealed, but we're pro open carry.
Well, I hope you gentlemen will come back another time and share with us what's happening in regard to gun laws in Missouri. Until then, we hope that you'll stay tuned and for more shows such as this.
Thanks to all for that update. We know this is an important topic to so many in our area.